Welcome back to the PodSack podcast.
Welcome back.
Me, your boy Cooper. We got Andre on the end. We
Yo.
got Sheldon right here in the middle. We're gonna be talking about some cool things today.
That's probably so.
I know. I'm being a distinguished gentleman.
We have a lot of stuff to talk about today. It's been a pretty crazy week.
Pretty crazy week. It was been a information-filled week, realistically.
Yeah.
Lot of stuff.
Lots of releases.
Lots of releases, a lot of pushbacks.
Yeah.
A lot of manga ending.
A lot of manga endings.
Stuff starting, stuff ending, stuff coming out.
Yeah.
This episode is just titled Stuff.
Just stuff.
A lot of stuff.
A lot.
Oh, God damn it, I swore. God, we got to bleep that out. Oh, no. I had Colin. I was about to sip my coffee. You're like, this episode is called Stuff. I almost spat it all out.
Oh, my
Oh.
God.
This episode is just a lot of stuff.
It is a lot of stuff.
There's a lot of stuff coming out.
God damn it.
We're going to be talking about
That's on
all
you,
of it.
I swear.
All of the stuff.
All the
What caught me off guard? I was in the middle of drinking my freaking coffee, man. You're like, stuff. I was like, oh, God.
So we're going to skip our weeks this week, and we're just going to jump right into this stuff because we got a lot to talk about.
Yeah,
We
there's
do have a lot to
we're eating good.
Yeah.
We had anime starting, ending, state of play. I don't know if you guys briefly want to go over Tokyo Game Show because that also happened.
It's
I didn't
happening
even
right.
watch it.
It's happening right
Oh,
now.
it's still happening.
Yeah, Tokyo.
Oh, pardon me,
The Tokyo
okay.
Game Show, I think, is like a week-long thing or something like that.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
Yeah,
Sorry, okay.
so it's not. I don't think it's over, but
But yeah, but like that, like there is so much happening. I think the latter half of this year.
I thought all this stuff started in August, like July in the summer, but it's all during the fall. I guess they're
Yeah.
trying to hype up stuff before they come out.
Holiday season?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, because we start getting announcements at like the end of August, beginning of September.
Mhm.
And now we're at the end of September, almost beginning of October.
yeah.
And we're getting just way too much flooding
Yeah.
all of our screens.
Yeah. And like the general consensus I'm hearing for next year now is there's too many games. This cycle of back and forth where, oh, there's not enough games. Oh, there's too many games. Like, shut up. Just take it for what it is. Shut
I'm
up.
happy.
Like,
I'm
my God.
really happy with everything that's coming out because this
Yeah.
means I'm going to be able
Or
to
just
go and play all these new games.
Play all of them.
Yeah, this just means you have more in your backlog. Just start going through your backlog, people.
Yeah.
Y'all sitting around playing Destiny 2 4,000 hours or Valorant for 6,000 hours. Go and play those other games.
Yeah, that's a very fair point, man. If you're going to complain about, oh, I can't get to my games, but so when I come home, I'd rather just play an hour of this because I feel like I get stuff accomplished.
Yeah.
Maybe play an hour of the game you actually have sitting on your shelf that you wanted to finish. You'll probably accomplish things.
Yeah,
honestly.
Little tangent. I'll make it quick. I had someone in the store. I overheard a customer talking to his friend, and they were looking at like the Valorant gift cards. And I overheard the one guy be like, "Dude, I can't buy any more cards. I already spent like $5,000 in Valorant." And I almost turned around and went, "I'm sorry, $5,000 in Valorant on what, my friend?
You've
On
been
skins for guys."
You know what our behind the scenes man who isn't here today has spent on these games.
True,
correct?
but yeah,
Right?
but
like
I was like, all you can buy in Valorant is just gun skins. Like, yeah, it just
it's crazy, and
And so
people
this is what I mean. Like I feel like I've said this before when it comes to like the free to play games. Like they don't really push out content, you know? And like Fortnite and those like the content they push is for aesthetics. There's no real change to too much. Like sure they might change a map or something.
yeah.
But what are they really adding? Nothing. You're still playing the same game over and over. You're still shooting the same things over and over. Like
It's the same element.
how do you say I get so much for my money when you really don't? You're just spending your money on skins and stuff, which fair, like you buy it because you like it, but you complain about other games not having game content, but they do when you're playing a game that lacks content.
I'd rather pay X amount for DLC. Like, for example,
Like you're playing Zelda right now.
yeah,
What do you think so far?
I think so far it's great. I think it's a
Zelda
nice,
Echoes is called, right?
yeah, Echoes of Wisdom. It's a nice change of pace from the norm because it's the first time we play as
Princess
Zelda, and it's not just like
Princess Zelda.
Princess
Wait,
Zelda.
you always play as Zelda.
Shut up. Shut up. Shut up.
But it's set in the style of Link's Awakening, so it's like a top down version. But the game,
The chibi style.
yeah.
Yeah.
But at the
cute.
core, what I like the most about the game is it's like, hey, you have to go from here to here, but you can do it anyway, anytime, and like the world is kind of like your sandbox. And what's cool is they've also implemented like if you need to get up a cliff, you can just make echoes of thing and kind of find your way up there. So
Oh, interesting.
there's no like
Wait, what do you mean they make echoes of things? Like
So, like-
Bloodborne kind of, or like Dark Souls kind of stuff?
so like
echoes?
Zelda can walk up to like say like a pot and like learn how to make an echo of a pot. Say if she defeats an enemy, she can like learn the echo of the enemy. So then she can summon an echo of the enemy.
Yeah.
So like for example, say if there's like a cliff that I just can't jump up on, I'll make like a table and then a table and then I'll make like a trampoline.
Oh.
Right. So like
It's a little big planet.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
all
Huh.
three of us will find a different way to get to something.
Okay.
So I like that
Okay.
aspect in the sense of, hey, you need to get from here to here, but you can do it any way, any shape, any
Well, I think
size.
that's what was so good as well
About
in
Tears of the Kingdom.
Tears of the Kingdom and Link's Away
So-
Breath of the Wild.
So
yeah.
that's kind of the system they've kind of given us in this game.
Yeah.
Is that like you can do it? It's just how are you going to do it, especially?
yeah,
Right,
that's
so,
cool.
So it's cool. I mean, so far I'm not too far in the game, but the echo part, especially with like a boss, it's like how am I gonna go about it because I
Yep.
can't fight it. So it's cool.
So
It's
you
cool.
make echoes to cheat?
Yeah, like for example,
I'm just bugging. I'm
I
just
made I summoned
bugging. Ganondorf?
an echo. I wish I summoned an echo of this like monster, and then I ran to the corner of the boss room, made a bed, lay down, recover my hearts, came back, and then just kept going. So there's like many ways to go about it. I like
Okay.
it.
Interesting.
That's kind of
Interesting.
cool. It's a good game overall, eh?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, like I think I've seen like 9 out of 10s, 10 out of 10s.
I mean, it's from the Zelda franchise. It's
yeah.
gonna be they're normally really good games.
Yeah.
There's not very many Zelda games that are
Mhm.
bad.
Bad quote.
So would you say like playing as Princess Zelda, she's more magic based, where Link is more like melee physical attributed?
Yeah, and
Yeah.
the biggest thing everyone kind of had is so in the game you
Link.
get Link's sword,
Master Sword. Yeah.
and it's actually not the Master Sword. It's called the Mysterious Sword.
Oh.
I don't. Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway,
Oh, mysterious. Sword.
you get like a form called Sword Fighter form where she gets like a shield and sword, and she can like act like Link, but it depletes her magic, so you can't crutch it. So it's kind of like if you're in a tight situation, you can use the form to kind of help you,
Right.
and then you have to go back to like doing things the old-fashioned way.
Gotcha.
But she's more magic based for sure.
Yeah.
So that was a big question everyone had: is like, will Zelda get a sword and shield? Because then it'll take away from her own personality with her own game.
Right.
And that was like a big thing that
But it
like
didn't.
no, it didn't, because if you use the sword and shield thing, you only have like maybe 10 seconds, and then their magic is gone. You can refill it, but only with certain things. So it's nice.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Speaking of swords, Wistoria freaking popped off this week.
Yes.
Yes.
It
Oh my
did.
God.
Did
Uh,
everyone wants to be Will until it's time to do Will thing?
True.
That's very true.
It is true. Those are straight facts.
Yeah.
Yes,
So what? We
sir.
continued with them being in the praxis exam
Yep.
on the 11th floor.
Mhm.
Continuing off the end where the headless dude summoned
Episode
their
11, I believe.
yeah, episode 11 where where that headless dude summoned the what did they call it? The Grand Duke of Evil.
Evil Grand Duke.
Or Evil
Yeah.
Grand Duke. Yeah,
Yeah.
I like the Grand Duke of Evil. That sounds
I don't know,
way
yeah.
better.
Grand
cooler.
Duke of
Yeah.
Evil.
This monster looks crazy, by the way. Like, it's probably one of the coolest monsters I think I've seen in anime in quite a while.
It almost looks like Neo Bahamut.
Yeah, I was getting like Bahamut vibes from
Yeah.
Final Fantasy VII.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of how I was like, this is interesting. Like, is there a design trademark flaw Nintendo that they need to go after? I'm like, goddamn.
Whoa, that looks way too.
Yeah. And it popped off. Like the animation was crispy. The choreography was on point. You know,
I like how the team had to put aside all the differences and just work as one team, or else they would die.
Well, the top two definitely recognized. They're like, yeah, we're gonna need Will as our leader.
Oh yeah.
Call that's like cheerleader in the background. Like, yeah, I always believed in Will.
Go.
You know, and then Shion and Julius like, no. Shion's like, fine, but I guess I'll do it reluctantly.
Yeah.
I just want you to look at me, Will. Just watch me do my things, please.
Anything you can do, I can do as well.
I can do it too, but I need you to see that I can do it.
Yeah.
I need you.
Yeah. Julius popping off, and then Wingnall like saying, no, he has my respect. I think through Julius off, he's like, what the hell? Like, why isn't
especially since like we all know that he is an elf and they're like very like like very like high pristine. Very high pristine. So for him to be like, I respect Will, I think the entire group is like, oh, okay.
Well, yeah. he was even like to Liana, I let him touch me. I was
yeah.
What do you mean?
Liana, I let him touch me.
Actually.
You need to understand that I let him touch me.
Yeah.
This is Will's harem. I've been saying it from the beginning, from like episode 5. This is Will's harem. He's gonna sleep with everyone.
Yeah, men, women, doesn't matter.
Oh, it's all of them.
Yeah.
Will is just the man.
He's him.
He is.
He's him. And just Adam.
He really is. Like Sion just wants to be seen by him. Julius is starting to respect it. Soon we're gonna see Julius. Oh wait, remember when Julius was in the kitchen? He made Julius go to the kitchen and start cleaning dishes for him.
I mean,
that's wifely duty.
I mean, that's because he beat his ass.
Oh yeah, he did.
I guess that makes sense actually. Now that I think about it, it is
right.
Right.
Now you're seeing it.
I am. But yeah, they got their asses kicked by this grand evil Duke thing.
Yeah, they did.
They ran off. They're like, we need to get the hell out of here.
Yeah. Because it's worth like 270 credits.
Yeah, now I understand how the credit system works.
Yeah, they
exactly.
explained it right at the beginning of the episode, which was really nice, right off the bat.
Because I'm like, they're only they need like 10,000 credits. How is killing a monster that's worth 10 credits going to get them anything?
Yeah.
And then they finally broke it down. So like, what is it? A monster with 10 points is worth 1,000 credits or 10,000 credits?
No. So a 10 credit monster is equivalent to a 10,000 point holding student.
Right.
So a student that has 10,000 points can take out a 10 point.
They should be able to.
They should be able to.
Right.
Right. That's how they gauge it. Right. Now the evil Grand Duke is 270 credits, meaning you would have to have 270,000 points. Which,
to translate in order to fight them.
Yeah.
Or a student would need that in order to fight them.
A student would need that in order to fight them. And that's basically just the Maggie Vander. That's only the Maggie Vander have that. I don't even think the profs probably have that.
Magnia Vendar.
Vander.
Yeah, but like I think the professors as a whole unit maybe.
Maybe. Yeah.
Big maybe.
Big maybe.
Capital maybe.
But the thing is, you gotta think right now. Remember that the headless guy summoned that Grand Duke. So like he's got to be even more powerful than that thing. Like he has that thing under control.
Unless we just haven't seen what like Professor Snape and Professor McGonagall haven't done yet, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, it's possible. Like even the fight with Will and the snake guy, I don't know. It made it feel like he was going all out, but I don't know if he was going all out, to be honest. Like,
well, in this episode, we really did see Will kind of go all out, like kind of give a lot.
Yeah, well, I think we saw kind of all of them go all out, to be honest. They
True.
most of them just kind of failed.
I think at this point in the arc, they kind of have to give it like all or nothing at this point.
Or they're going to die.
Oh, yeah. So.
Like Liana doing her electric thing. Wignall doing his like elusive illusion magic, air magic stuff. Julius had a kind of a big moment that was supposed to be a big moment, but it ended up not working out too great. He learned a new like incantation spell from Will that Elfie ended up learning.
Yep.
So it's making Julius a little bit more strong. It essentially allows him to continue incantation without being while being interrupted
Yeah.
with his clones.
without being interrupted.
Sorry, yeah, without being interrupted.
Yeah, not while being interrupted, but if he's interrupted, he keeps it going.
Yeah. So he popped out a big ice magic missile incantation, and I guess we kind of learned that the incantations, like the longer they are, the more powerful they are.
Yeah, the more powerful
right?
they are.
That's the gist we got from that. Yeah. So, and his was quite long. It was like 5 minutes.
Yeah, this dude started at the beginning of the episode and
all
was
his clones to kind of
he was spitting Eminem verses the entire time. Like it was just some of the mom spaghetti, knees weak, arms are
it
heavy.
was like bar after bar after bar after bar.
Yeah.
But yeah, like the longer the incantation, the stronger I guess the outcome is.
Yeah. And who was Will saving? Was it Julius he was saving, or was it Wignall he was saving? Where his goggles ended up getting cracked?
Liana.
Oh, it was Liana.
Yeah,
oh yeah,
she
right.
went in
Because she's like, I'll take care.
Yeah, I got this.
Yeah.
Don't worry.
Yeah. Oh, actually, sorry. It was Wignall and her saying it.
It was both of them saying it,
Yeah,
but it was Liana who was the one that went in.
Who dove in.
Yeah, because she had she has like an electric sword. She fights close up too.
Yeah.
Right? So
And she's like, I got this.
Yeah.
I'm like, whew.
And then Will goes, saves her before she gets blasted away, and then his goggles break. Oh no, I'm so sad. Sion punches him, and then he doesn't care about Elfie's
break, can we just like
just punch me in the face, and I won't care anymore. That's what I got from
that's the synopsis.
Yeah. When I'm like crying and like I need new glasses now, just punch me in the face, and I will completely forget about them.
What are glasses? I can see.
Oh my goodness, my girlfriend got me these glasses. I love these glasses. They mean so much to me. Boom, I don't care anymore. Let's fight.
That was kind of it.
I was telling you, that's crazy. That's the quickest flip of anything ever. The dude's like, I'm trembling. Oh my goodness. Punch.
I don't know if it was that quick. I mean, he got beat up a little bit, you know, him getting punched in the face quite a few times. Only for Xion to end up bleeding through his knuckles and not Will being damaged at all.
Is Will just like invulnerable at this point?
There's clearly something going on with him for him to not get damaged at all.
Yeah.
And just keep going. He's
like
something
super strong, super fast, right?
and like very, very durable.
Yeah.
Very durable. So there's definitely something going on.
There
with him.
was a small flashback clip that kind of we got a little bit of his
because
backstory.
like they weren't really doing damage to him, and they were realizing that it like even with Will's attacks, it wasn't much. And then his roommate, what was his name?
Rusty.
Yeah,
Rusty.
Threw some sort of crystal thing at him.
Yeah,
like rejuvenated his memories or something.
Yeah,
it was kind of weird.
Yeah, it was real weird. And then he had like a flashback of like his, I guess, some woman holding a baby.
So see,
some woman holding.
We say it's his flashback, but it could also be Rusty's flashback.
It could have been
Rusty.
We don't
whatever.
Like, it didn't necessarily say a name of the child or who it was. We're inferring that it's Will.
Yeah, because the child did have dark hair, but there was a hooded figure. Like watching over him, and they're talking to this woman about her baby.
Yeah,
and the one was saying like, "This is where like a wand after like a millennia or something like that, wand and sword will finally be together or meet."
Wand and sword, and then what does Will say?
Sword and wand?
No, he runs off and says, "Sion, wand and sword."
Yeah.
Where are you going? Wand and sword. Wand and sword.
And Sion just needed to like throw fire at him.
He literally just throws fire at him.
Yeah. I was like, and like all the other mages were surprised, like they were kind of surprised, but also it felt like they knew what was going on.
Yep.
I don't know.
Yeah, he just said wand and sword, and like everybody just knew what that meant.
Like if that's somewhere in the previous episodes, like didn't he get called like the sword because he's the only dude in the school that uses the sword?
Yeah.
Yeah. But like at the same time, like what is wand and sword? Like
they're
just throwing out this word, like the title of the show, and being like, everyone knows this now, and it's like, wait, hold on, no. You haven't told us anything about this. You're just this almost feels shoehorned in.
I'm caught up in the manga, and I will say I still don't really know like that term yet.
That's how I feel about JJK when they start talking about curse techniques and shit.
And this is one of the few things that I can fault Wistoria on, and not to say that it's a bad show by any means. Like we've always said, it's consistent, it's good, but I think just the some story elements just kind of feel a little bit out of place, and this is like one of them where it's like, oh, wand and sword, everyone now knows this. Okay, we're on episode 11. You've never referenced this before.
Now it is a little early. Like let's be fair. It is a little early. This is the first time like they've mentioned it. Like episode 12, maybe they'll reveal a little bit more because this is not the last episode.
Fair.
The last episode is going to air next week.
Fair.
And maybe they'll give us a little more backstory about what wand and sword is, and then somewhere in season 2, we'll learn a little bit more about what the hell will is.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough. I mean, we do have one more episode so they can explain it. I just think it did feel a little bit rushed in the sense that this was like never referenced before. They could have had a little scene where Will was reading a book and he said wand and sword or something to tease it, but this just feels like out in the middle of nowhere. Well, everyone now knows because Sion, what does Sion do?
Well, I don't know if it feels a little rushed because I think we've seen this in a lot of animes where, you know, they'll fight, they're kind of losing, and then some sort of secret ability will come up in multiple animes only for that.
I mean, here, for example, take Demon Slayer, the
Hinokami Kagura.
The first season, he does it, and then us, the viewers, are like, that was cool, but what the hell did you just do? And then we learn it's like unlike innate thing.
Fair enough.
It's an innate thing that his dad did.
I think, but I think that because that's a little bit
but
different
also
only because Tanjiro is using that ability himself. This is something that he just screamed out and expected Sion to exactly know what he was talking about. Like cast a spell that's gonna come into that. He gets a sword and now he has fire on his sword. It was real. It does make sense where you guys are coming from. Like secret abilities do pop up in the middle of fights. It's a very big anime trope. I just think that this one, because this has never been referenced before, and Sion is just supposed to know what that means. It feels a little bit like, where's this coming from? That's my only point. Like I'm not gonna say it's a huge fault on it. Like I said, it's still good overall. I enjoy the hell out of this show. It's I recommend anyone to watch it because it's good. But I think what's holding it back from being great is those story elements that like I just want to. Just give me a little bit more story right now. I need to know what's going on.
I'll that's where I'll disagree is I think we'll get that and that'll come hopefully the next episode.
Fair enough.
Hopefully. I get where you're coming from though. Like you want it all within that same sort of episode to give the backstory about it.
Yeah, I kind of want to know what's going on.
But then it wouldn't be an exciting ability if we knew what it was and we expected it to be coming.
No, but at least give us like a little bit.
It is cool.
Yeah, I mean, I don't doubt it. I am looking forward to it. I just think, story-wise, it could
I'm surprised it took them this long to do some sort of anime where they infuse magic into a blade, because I've seen that happen in video games quite often.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Like there's quite a few video games that inherit that ability.
I feel like there's animes that have that as well.
I mean, maybe.
Like, I can't think of one off the top of my head, but it sounds very familiar.
Demon Slayer? No.
They don't have magic.
They don't have magic.
Those are all visuals, remember?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
No, but like in taking the power of like infusing magic into a sword, I feel like that's been done. I just can't think of an anime off the top of my head. But yeah.
What do you guys rate this episode?
Rate it? I'd give it.
Okay, wait. On what though? Like
overall?
Overall. Yeah.
I'm giving it 8 out of 10.
Yeah, I'd sit there.
Yeah.
I'd say 8 out of 10. Hard 8. And I feel like every episode is a hard 8 for me. It's like, it's right there. It's always meeting my expectations, but never exceeding. That's my one thing.
I give it a 9.
Yeah?
Okay, fair.
Yeah.
Solid.
Fair.
I give it a 9. Yeah, animation was on point. My thing now, like I swear, every time I watch animations now, seriously, since JJK season 2, I've been so critical.
Yeah, I was about to say
so critical.
Ever since JJK.
I honestly, like
it just triggered something.
100%.
Where you're just like, animation is everything.
No, it's not everything. It's just like if you're gonna actually maybe since like you know what? Actually, it started with 7 Deadly Sins. And it was very disappointing because there was like some fight scenes that should have been way better animated that would have really popped off with that, because it's a good anime, it's a great story, great manga.
I agree.
But the animation ended up killing it.
Yep.
And like especially the Escanor fight with Meliodas, that should have been hugely popped off.
I was right before that.
Oh.
Fight. That's where I ended it, because at that point I was just kind of confused about what was going on.
Right.
And it was kind of all over the place.
Yep.
And the animation just, like, for some fights where I was like, it could have went harder.
Mhm.
It just didn't meet my expectations. That's why I dropped it.
Yep.
So
Like, I kept watching it because I wanted to know what was going on, but the animation just didn't get better.
Fair.
And from there, I think it kind of like lingered, and then JJK season 2 happened. Oh, and it just like the seed erupted.
It triggered.
The seed erupted. Honestly, it exploded, and it just like choreography
Animation.
was fine. It's just the detail, the animation style. I'm like, no, man, like this can't be it. Like this fight
think-
should have been way better detailed than what it was.
Yeah.
And so with this, Wistoria anyway, it was crispy, and the choreography was great. The monster, the Grand Evil Duke, whatever you want to call it, is a dope monster.
It is.
Dope I don't know if you read the little description in between.
No, I didn't.
Okay.
I usually do,
So,
and I didn't want
the description
to read
read,
that one.
if you see this monster, run. Like,
Oh,
run for
yeah,
your
yeah,
life.
yeah,
I was
yeah,
like,
yeah.
oh shit, that's okay. Like,
Yeah.
makes sense.
So they're fighting a heavy one.
Yeah, because that thing has the ability to control other monsters on other floors. It
Yeah.
becomes like a lair king or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, that, and just like we're getting more of like recognition from Will from these higher ups that were supposed to be all powerful. And now when I watch this, knowing that these all powerful people were actually failures, I'm like, this is why you guys can't kill this thing. Y'all suck. It's like, y'all suck. I'm like, this is why you got left
I'll
behind.
say it again. Everyone wants to be Will until it's time to do
Will stuff.
things.
Yeah. Shion was that perfect point.
Shion,
Yeah.
Wignall, Liana, everyone wants to be Will.
Yeah.
We also had a new episode of Elusive.
Yes.
We did.
It continued on from the previous episode where they were fighting the provincial official appointed by the emperor,
Yes,
Yep.
sir.
who is voiced by the
Monkey.
dub Japanese voice actor for Frieza on Dragon Ball.
The-
I was like, you know what's funny is they even gave him the colorings, the white, pinkish, purple. They gave him the colorings of Frieza. I was like, this makes sense now, because I wasn't sure at first, and I was like, no, that's him. That's him.
Yeah, no, it sounds very, very similar to him for sure. So yeah, they continue on that fight.
not much happened.
Not a lot happened in this episode.
Surprising for
being-
like a last episode.
This is the last episode that was kind of underwhelming. I will say that, because it didn't establish what's going on in the future. Like, we have no idea what's going to happen if there's going to be a season 2.
Cooper, hold my hand.
What? Okay. What?
Like, there can be.
Are you talking about just this episode?
No, this episode.
Because the entire show has established what is going to happen in the future.
It's established what's going to
I
happen in
think
the
what
future.
he means is more like how sometimes at the end or latter half.
Well, most times.
yeah,
They
Well, let him
Go
finish.
ahead.
Let him.
like latter.
Shut
half,
up, Coop.
Latter half of a final episode, it's kind of like it will like tease a bit of like what is to come.
yeah.
But this one,
Yeah.
Well, this episode and the last episode was a Kanjiro growth arc.
oh yeah,
Kojiro, sorry. That's what I felt about these two episodes. Where they
this
were,
one especially.
yeah.
it was a Kojiro growth arc,
Mhm.
because in the last episode he felt kind of like, where do I fit in?
Yeah.
How do I help my lord?
Mhm.
You know,
And-
because you had Ninja Boy, sabotage tactics, Fubuki,
Yep.
who is like a well-trained swordsman that's training Hojo, but also tactical.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know, the Shrine Maiden is just like the personal bodyguard, and then the actual priest girl, she's got magical powers to help him.
Yeah.
Right. So I think what was it again? Kojiro.
Kojiro. Yeah.
Kojiro was kind of feeling, how do I help my lord?
Where
do I fit in?
the puzzle?
Yes.
And,
Yeah.
he found his spot as the general.
He's a good leader.
Yeah.
He's a good leader of
But he
an
can't
army.
remember names.
What?
Yeah, he can't remember names. He was calling everyone. He was like rectangle face.
He's like rectangle features on face.
Yeah.
Focus lines on face.
Yeah. He doesn't know.
That's kind of meta, man.
Dude, it's funny.
It's a little meta,
Because
but
they would turn around and like change their features, and they're like, "What are you talking about?" And he's like, "Don't do that right now. Don't do that right in the middle of war, please. I can't handle this." It was kind of funny.
oh god.
So yeah.
Yeah, like it was a lot of mostly him just fighting, eh?
Yeah, he was
Yep.
fighting. Oh my
The
god,
Frieza.
Pig-headed face.
Pighead face Frieza man.
Yeah, what the hell is
I don't know his name.
Yaname or something?
Something
It
like
started
that.
with a Y, but essentially they were like jousting, but
Dodoria.
They were going at.
Oh, holy shit.
no, it's not.
No, it's not his name, but he looks like Dodoria.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, they
Oh my
were
God,
like
Frieza and
horseback
Dodoria?
sword fighting.
Dragon Ball Fights.
they were jousting.
Oh my God,
back
you
and
know,
forth.
to think of it, he did the spirit bomb. The priest.
Oh my God, he did.
Yeah, he did the spirit bomb.
That's true.
Okay, these guys clearly love Dragon Ball.
Oh yeah.
I think they love a lot. I think this is like there's a lot of elements from different animes built into Elusive, but they do it very well to the point where like you don't necessarily notice it right away. Like Wistoria.
I mean, I noticed the Dragon Ball one right away.
That one. Oh
Yeah.
Fair enough, but like Wistoria does it more blatantly. I feel like with its anime references. I feel like this one is much more subtle.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that.
But they
I
were
can see that.
jousting back and forth, and the bad guy was way stronger on the horse.
Well, he's a grown man. This
He
is
was,
a
yeah.
child.
Yeah.
Child on
It's
horseback.
an 11-year-old versus a 37-year-old.
Yeah,
And,
and
Yeah.
all the other people are like, "Don't do it. You'll fail. Like you will lose on the horseback.
You're gonna die.
Yeah.
And then when that's happening, I guess like people on the beach are still kind of fighting and surviving.
Yeah. It's all the infantry is fighting, but Kojiro is the only one who's horseback, so he has to deal with the other horseback dude because he's messing up all of them.
Yeah.
Yep.
And he evidently tries a different move where they joust, but at the last second, Kojiro jumps, dodges the sword, and then slashes the dude in the neck. But I think Kojiro still got cut on the arm.
Yeah, I think he got cut in the arm before, but yes, you are
Oh,
right.
yeah. So then his sword arm was just
Yeah, it's all
Gone.
messed up, and he's laying there, and he's like, "I'm not gonna do it," and then he gets the flashbacks of like all of his friends, and he's like, "No, I can do it."
And then the infantry people on the beach, I think, jump up on the bad guy on the horse and like hold each arm down, and they're like, "You can do it, Kojiro. You can do it."
Yeah.
And he's
Yeah.
like, "I can do it."
And then he
'Cause then
golf swings
Yeah,
his sword.
literally.
He golf swung that shit.
Because wasn't it? Correct me if I'm wrong, but during that battle, like
Yeah.
when he was fighting him, and like the men that he was helping or allied with him, they were kind of faltering. He kept raising their morale while he was fighting this dude.
Yeah, because like
Then he kept giving them
their whole thing is like they want to die in like a cool way.
Yeah.
Like they kept being like, "Yeah, well, I'm gonna die by getting both my arms cut off. Well, I'm gonna die getting my head right." And
Yeah.
they were like being like, "Let's just die in the most epic way, dude." And then Kojiro's like, "No, don't die,
Don't
please."
do it.
well, actually, no, it was mainly the Lord.
Hojo.
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
the
yeah,
Hojo
yeah,
boy.
yeah, yeah.
He
And then they got mad at him. They were like, "You let us die the way we want to die."
yeah,
No,
we
but
won't die
Kojiro,
the way-
like during this episode while they were like he was raising morale for them.
He was.
He kept pushing them to keep fighting while he took care of this guy.
Yeah.
And I was like,
He's like, "I'll protect you guys."
he was like,
guys
yeah,
know
you
it."
keep fighting, I'll handle him. I
Yeah.
thought I thought he was gonna say, keep fighting them, and then once you're done with them, come help me. I thought that's what he was gonna say, but that didn't happen.
No.
But they ended up helping him anyway.
Yeah.
Because they saw if this kid can keep fighting.
Because Kojiro lost morale. He's
Yeah.
like, "I just can't do anymore." And they're like, "You can do it."
Yeah, and I think after when they saw that with him,
Yeah.
after he was keeping their morale up, he was like, they were like, we can't let a kid just give up like this.
Yeah.
Or like, what
'Cause-
kind? Personally, I'd be like, as an adult, how do I let this kid who is cheering us on just drop and fail?
Oh yeah, no,
You know?
yeah.
Like, I don't think I could let that happen.
No,
like,
yeah.
I'm gonna be like, okay, let me hold this mother and do a Goku and be like, stab us both through the damn chest. You know?
just
Yeah.
hold him down, let him just Tiger Woods 4 and just
Yeah.
straight up the face.
Yeah.
And to backpack off the horse too.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
I forgot about. I was like, wait,
Kojiro
off the horse.
Is on the
Yeah,
horse.
that
I
took me
thought
a
you were
second.
saying to back off the horse. Like
Oh,
it's a
sorry,
saying.
sorry.
That's what I thought he was.
I was
saying.
confused for a second. It took me a minute too.
They're holding the.
That's
bad
your
guy
new
down.
saying from now on.
What?
That's your new saying from now on.
To
Is it-
backpack off the horse.
Yeah,
To back
Don't be
off
not just
the
to
horse.
back off what you said. To back off the horse.
Yeah. Kojiro charges on horse and just yeets homeboy from
Yeah.
from the ground up.
Oh yeah.
How many animation changes did we see this episode?
At one point, we got like a real life horse.
It was like the beginning. If you remember the first
It was like
episode,
a pregnant horse, right? That horse
was,
looked pregnant.
Dude, I don't know. It was weird.
At one point,
Because the gut was like down to its knees, and I'm like, that's a pregnant horse.
Like,
Yeah.
at one point, it was like 3D, 2D, and then
In real life.
And then it was pictures. It was like random painted pictures of like a weird, like a horse running, but they were just still images for like 3 seconds each. And you're like, what is this?
I really
What's
like this
happening?
about this anime.
And then, like,
that,
at the
that
end-
they can just like input different animations and weird things, but keep it flowing so it doesn't
Yeah.
mess up the vibe of the show.
Yeah.
And then like at the end, we got like a weird like 3D chess type part.
I want somebody to watch this show on acid. Just go. Just
I've
take
thought
a
about
tab,
doing. I've thought about
take
doing
a tab
shrooms
of
and just
acid,
watching
watch
this.
it from front to back, and give me your ideas because, dude, it's nuts.
I've thought about doing shrooms and watching this anime. Honestly,
You know what part I feel like would send someone down a spiral? The part where it's the Hojo boy versus the barbarian, where he cuts his wrist and like
and then Michael Jackson music starts to play. Yeah,
That would
start busting out into
that one
Thriller.
episode would send you.
Oh yeah,
or
I'd start doing the whole Thriller dance.
so yes, I really like this show.
Yeah,
I really like this show. I think I want to give like because this is the last. I believe we believe the last episode because we searched it up. It was
it's 12 episodes. Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So this should be the last episode of the season. I would give it overall. I want to give this like an 8.5 out of 10. Like it's really good.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed it. It's got weird story elements, and I was saying this before, kind of like Golden Kamuy. Where it's not as vulgar as Golden Kamuy, but it has those weird story elements that it's like, oh, this weird thing is happening. Now we're progressing the story.
Right.
Oh, this weird thing is happening. Now we're progressing the story, and it's
Right.
kind of back and forth
I'd give
between
it
that.
An 8.
So an 8,
Yeah.
solid.
Because you said you had trouble getting into it, right?
So even though I had I guess trouble getting into the story, I'm still like I want to know what's gonna happen because there has been a lot that like has happened. Like we've seen how the main bad guy who betrayed everyone is just turning into like a monster, and even his own brother thinks that.
Right.
So there's that whole thing escalating. I want to see the whole team as a group evolve with their characters. I want to see like just how elusive he can be, and I want to see him like all his
Become a
like,
man.
yeah, like so like
Do you think? Sorry to cut you off.
yeah, no.
Because right to back off of that, do you guys think that there is going to be a time skip in this?
Ooh, that's a good question.
And the only reason I asked that is because like he's training right now, right?
Yeah.
So will they get?
I hope there isn't a time skip. What I would like to see is them gradually grow up through the seasons. I don't know
Yeah.
how many seasons there are going to be of this show, but that's what I'd like to see. Is like, okay, they're kids, and like they're not anywhere near ready to get to that. You know, actually, now that I think about it, the concept of time in this show is not really all there.
No.
Because we don't understand.
You're 100% right.
We don't understand. Okay, this is where I'm going to change my score.
Let him cook.
I'm going to change my score after the because I had a score in mind, but now that I'm talking about this, my score is going to change.
The
because of-
concept of time.
yeah, like from event to event to event, we don't know how much time has passed in between.
Yep.
It kind of feels like it's just happening right week after week, one after another.
Yeah.
Like all these changes of events are happening very quickly.
Well, yeah, because there's so many weird things. Like we were in winter at one point in this.
Yes.
anime,
I
and
will say
now
the
we're
only
out. I
concept
don't
of
know if
time
we're
that we
in
have-
winter.
Like I think we're in fall now.
Because
Yeah.
when they were fighting the last big fight, the war with those like the army and the children, they froze over the lake.
Right.
Remember, or the
Yes,
river, right?
yes.
They froze that over because they blocked it with the dam. So at one point we were in winter. Sometimes we're in spring. I don't know what
like,
time.
The only concept of time I guess that we have is the seasons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All
That'd be
we
it.
know, like, we don't know in this world. We're just seeing scenes of things that are happening with no timeline involved, right? Like
Yeah.
we know that this story is happening progressively, but we don't know at which point, which era, which time this
Yeah.
is happening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, like with that, your whole time skip thing, I don't want there to be a time skip. I
Mhm.
kind of want to see them. I want because I don't think I've seen any anime or show really do this. Well, actually, live action shows, sure, it happens, but in animes, you don't really see them grow up. It just kind of they're kids, and then time skip, they're like teenagers to adults,
Mm.
and that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like Haikyuu, for example. Haikyuu, you see them grow a little bit, but then there's a huge time skip, and they're just adults.
Or like
for Haikyuu?
Yeah.
When did they become adults?
Or isn't it they're in the college team, isn't it?
What? No, they're still in high school.
No, in the show, in the manga.
Oh, in the manga.
I'm talking manga.
Oh, I have no idea.
Oh, okay.
Wait.
There's supposed to be. I've heard there's a time skip.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and like
Okay.
so that's what a lot of people were complaining about, because I've heard complaints of people who read the manga where they're like,
Oh, they probably wanted to
to
see them play together more throughout high school.
Well,
which
I did, because when I found out that, I was like, that is kind of spoilers, but I mean, the manga's been out for so long. Like,
Right.
This has been out for a very long time. So if you haven't heard it, sorry, spoil it. But yeah, there should be a
Yeah, I didn't know that. That was major spoilers. What the hell, man? I hate you.
Wow.
Anyways,
Don't need to-
I was gonna give it an 8.5, but I'm gonna drop it down to an 8 because of the time.
okay.
Well, actually, probably would have been a 9, and I'm dropping it down to an 8. That's what I'll say.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
The
there's
only, like,
there's no concept of where like I said, no concept of time.
Yep.
Yeah.
the only in anime growth that you're talking about that I thought would be a viable option that I'm thinking about now is solo leveling. I just don't know if that would be it.
I don't think there's
that would
not
be-
not like, and that's not the growth he's talking about. He's talking about through the time.
Like-
Like you
Age
seeing
wise,
Naruto go to Shippuden,
Yeah.
like it's a time skip of
Yeah, yeah.
3 years.
yeah,
Or like
because they all,
Dragon Ball with Gohan when it ended at Cell Games, and then they jumped to Buu and he was in high school at like 17 or 16.
Got it.
It kind of like it's
like instead of that, do like, oh, we have this season is his childhood. This season he's 9. This season he's 12. This season he's 15. Like something that's more gradual, is what
Okay.
you'd like to see, right?
Got
Yeah.
it. Okay, cool.
yeah, exactly. So that's where I kind of give it. Speaking of time, we finally are getting a proper Devil May Cry anime.
I know.
I've heard.
Yeah,
Have you
because
seen the trailer?
I'm not a big DMC fan, but I saw clips of it.
okay, that makes sense. I think we grew up with DMC.
Yeah.
That's
Oh,
why.
So did one of my, like, I have friends who are very big DMC fans.
Yeah.
Like, one of my close friends plays all the DMC games, and all he would talk about when the games came out was DMC. He couldn't not stop talking about it because he loves it so much. So I know a decent amount just from our conversations. So I know like kind of the characters and how they play as, and I've seen a bunch of cutscenes because he showed me a ton of it. So I know a little bit.
Yeah. So we're finally getting it. They're gonna give like a full like season arc, which is
Yeah.
gonna be kind of interesting. I don't know if it's gonna have tie-ins with the games at all. I'm kind of hoping it does.
I think it just has tie-ins with a manga, which I didn't even know there was a manga.
I didn't know there was a manga either.
To be fair.
Because there was a DMC anime before this
There was.
that Capcom did, and I thought it was pretty cool.
Okay.
But there was no like,
And this, just be clear, this the new anime just follows Dante.
yeah.
If I'm not
Well,
mistaken.
for now, we don't. They didn't give us too much information about it
Yeah,
yet.
But from
But-
what I've seen, it just follows Dante.
Yeah, the old animation that they did, which was very well done,
Yeah.
was just him finding like random monsters. There was no like,
No like rhyme or reason.
yeah, there's no like real story to it,
Got
except it tied in Trish and the girl from DMC 3.
Yeah.
And that was it. Like
Which
they were
ones
just there.
have you played?
I've played up to 4. I have not played the 5th one yet.
Okay.
I've
played DMC, the one that's called
the
DMC.
reboot.
Yeah.
I've played the reboot as well.
and
Yeah,
then I've played 5.
yeah. 5 is the only one I haven't played
Yeah.
yet.
5 is good.
Yeah, I stopped at DMC 4 because I was not a fan.
I heard 4 you either loved it or hated it.
It was Nero for me. Nero, like I did not like Nero as a character. He was
Yeah.
too whiny. He was
Yeah.
too like childish,
Yeah.
you know? And they tried to make him Dante when he wasn't a Dante, you know? Like
Yeah.
Dante is
Dante's Dante.
he's a shit talker. He's a shit talker. He likes to shit talk and he'll mess you up. He'll just give you them hands for no reason. Like
With no reason, dog.
like no demon is safe. Like
Nah,
he
man.
comes across him.
If you're a demon and you and Dante meet in like an alley, you're dead.
Yeah, Nero was kind of like trying to trash talk, but he would get his ass beat here and there.
Yeah.
Like, dude lost an arm. I'm like, shut up. Like, you're crying for no reason, man.
Yeah.
Like, calm down. And the dude voicing Nero was Johnny Young Bosch.
He's
And now he's voicing Dante in this anime, which I'm kind of weirded about. Like, I like him, but he feel like with what?
Leave him alone.
Hold on, shut up. Just shut up. Like Dante, we know is supposed to be like kind of like a heavier kind of voice,
Gruffier?
like more raspy, kind of gruff.
Yeah.
You know, and now he's kind of more soft spoken.
Yeah.
You know,
Maybe this might be like a quote younger Dante. I don't know exactly.
it's not though. It's
Is
not.
it? Oh,
No,
okay.
it's he's like in this is like DMC 1, DMC 2 Dante.
Okay.
That's what this Dante is.
Does he have
More DMC 1.
Does
'Cause
he have
DMC
the Devil Trigger in this
He should.
anime?
He should.
He should.
He should. Yeah.
Did he have it in the games?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Because DMC 3 was a young Dante. Yeah, that was a young Dante, young Virgil. And them just kind of starting out is what it was.
Oh.
Yeah, this seems to be like in the midst of the DMC 1 timeline.
Because in the reboot, like that's where you meet Virgil for the first time, and then you learn Virgil his whole plan, and then at the end of the game, you guys fight.
Oh, you're talking about DMC. Sorry, I meant Devil May Cry. So I know you're confused now. Okay, let me walk you through this.
I know the timeline.
Yeah, so there's Devil May Cry 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah.
Those are all in a sequential order, but
Yeah.
Devil May Cry 3 is the prequel, right? It's a prequel. Then it goes Devil May Cry 1 and then 2.
Okay.
2 is where he's like mastered his stuff. He's
him.
Yeah,
Okay.
at that point. DMC is the reboot.
Yeah.
They call it DMC, not Devil May Cry.
Yeah.
But we know it's Devil May Cry, but they call it DMC.
Of course, yeah.
That is the reboot where it was Platinum Games. Yeah, Platinum Games that did it.
Mm-hmm.
They originally made what originally was Dante, and they brought it to Capcom. Capcom was like, no, go back. If we wanted to do an original Dante, we would have just done it ourselves and not hired you guys. So they went back, they redid it. They're like, okay, great. And people didn't like it because they were like, he was goth fuckboy kind of shit. And I'm like, nah, he was fine. It was a good game. He was a great character. The chemistry between him and Virgil was wonderful.
Yeah.
You know, even up into the end when he had to fight Virgil because Virgil had different views and like skewed.
Did Virgil want to like kill the world or something?
He wanted to rule.
Yeah.
Basically. Yeah.
Dante's like,
Yeah.
no.
So when I say this anime is kind of in line with where Devil May Cry 1 is at,
Yeah.
it's the one back on the PS2 era.
Okay, cool.
That's
Okay,
what
yeah,
I mean.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
Cool.
that's the first one. That's the tie-in that I'm seeing with this anime.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah. But with Johnny Young Bosch voicing him, like, I like him. It just feels a little too youngish. I don't know.
Mhm.
I don't understand why they didn't bring back the original voice actor. I'm gonna have to look that up and see
Question
why.
for you: in Devil May Cry 1 to 3, did Dante ever have like his like demon form?
Yeah.
Or just okay, cool,
Yeah.
cool.
Well, in Devil May Cry 1, you like his demon form activated based off
His anger.
no, it's like 2 different powers or something like that.
Okay.
It's been a long time since I played, so don't quote me on this. In DMC 2, he had his own form.
Okay, that might be the one. That
He
I'm
had his
talking
own
about.
form.
Yeah,
DMC 3, he kind of had that too,
yeah.
a little bit, but it kind of altered with the weapon that you had. A little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, but DMC 2, he had his own thing going on. It was his devil form.
Sick.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Wait,
So, yeah. That's supposed to be airing next year in like spring 2025.
looks good.
Yeah.
Looks good.
Animation wise, it looks crispy. I
Okay.
like it.
Yeah.
It's very detailed.
Yeah.
I dig it. I'm definitely going to watch that next year.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we also had some game stuff happen. We had some
Heavy
state
game
of
week.
play.
Yes. What went on? We had State of Play happen.
Mhm.
What were you guys' thoughts? Because like I've heard a lot of people were not impressed. Some people liked it. Like
It was perfectly fine. It was cool. Lots of Lego stuff like they did last year. Every year I feel like they put way too much Lego stuff into these state of plays, but whatever it is, there was some cool game announcements, a lot of cool game announcements.
yeah, there are some a couple like maybe like 2 or 3 new IPs that were announced.
Yep,
realistically,
Yep.
like the Hell Is Us,
Yep.
the one where you're
Stop motion.
where you're unbreakable.
Horror game?
You're the like Bruce Willis and Unbreakable with
Yeah.
the coat over your hand, but you have like magics and swords and
Yeah.
It looks very cool. It was kind of horror-esque.
Horror-esque. Yeah.
It was interesting, dark, gritty, but it also felt like
It kind of reminded me of Fear a little bit, but without guns.
Yeah.
Fear is a horrifying game.
I love that game. Love
It's
that
so
series.
good, but so scary.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that one looks really good.
Yeah.
That one looks really good.
The Metro AR game.
Okay.
Sorry, VR. Pardon
VR.
me.
Okay,
VR,
so
yeah.
that is a part of the Metro series then, eh? Okay. Yeah, I was like,
I don't know if you guys have played the Metro series. I
Not
did.
once. I'm not in.
I
I'm not
played
in.
the second one.
Is that Exodus?
Uh,
'Cause the second one for me was my favorite.
Shit, what was the second one? You know what? I'll have to look it up.
Yeah.
But the second, well, I think I only liked the second one because it was more well done than the first one, which makes sense because the first one was taken. I don't know, like that. It was the first game that they did. Metro Last Light. That's what it was. That's what it was called.
Exodus.
That's the second one. A third game, Metro Exodus, was released in February 2019.
Yeah. Last Light was my favorite one.
Yeah. Exodus was the one where they expanded the world more. And
and you left underground. Yeah,
yes, that's what that one was. Yeah. Then Metro Last Light was also the one I played,
yeah.
and that one I did like.
That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I didn't know it was based off books, by the way.
It is. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been meaning to get into the books.
Yeah. Like it. You know, it's funny with Sony's VR. It kind of feels like it's now just being left behind.
I know.
It's they invested all this time and money into it, and well, I mean,
You
nobody
want to know what it's.
nobody's really developing for VR. Like, when was the last time you heard of a big game coming out for Oculus?
Never. Like there's
Yeah.
fun. No, there's fun games, but yeah, like you're saying, like it's gimmicky.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of titles being
It's
released.
a certain niche.
that are
Yeah.
niche.
I'm surprised though, because usually in the tech industry, when it comes to niche things, they don't really last. But this is like the VR stuff has been lasting for quite a while now.
I think it's gonna become a bigger thing when when they have the technology to simul release games for VR and games.
I guess that is their big issue right now,
Yeah,
because a
that's
lot
the
of it
big
is just
issue.
exclusive to platforms.
It really
know,
is.
yeah.
Once mainline titles are like, oh yeah, you can also get the VR version for this, and let's say it's an extra $10, but
Mhm.
you can play this game now in VR. That's when VR is gonna take off.
Yeah.
I think that's gonna come around probably sooner because of AI. I think
Yeah.
AI
Have
is
you
gonna
guys
help with
played
that.
a
But
VR game.
I've
all?
played, I've played a couple VR
It's been
games.
a while, but yeah.
Yeah, I've played like Beat Saber. I've played a couple other games.
You
I've
played
some of the
like,
Nintendo
Have
stuff.
you tried PlayStation VR?
PSVR. I
Yeah.
think I've tried it. I tried it once a while ago. It was pretty decent. Like
Yeah.
it wasn't bad. It wasn't
Okay.
anything spectacular.
Nice.
But yeah, like we were talking about, it's still kind of gimmicky. I'm waiting. Once
Is.
it's a little bit more mainline and a little more
Yeah.
streamlined, I think it's gonna pop off a little bit more. But
Mhm.
they're gonna still keep releasing games. So if you have some VR, if you have a VR headset,
Yeah.
good for you.
It's expensive too.
It is really expensive.
Yeah.
Say, yeah, what else did they announce at State of Games? They announced the remaster for Legacy of Kain, Soul Reaver 1 and 2.
Is that the game that you were talking about?
Well, there was that one. Well, no, that wasn't the main one I was excited about.
Because I played those games and
they were fun.
They were
They were really good.
especially the first one. When I guess like as a young gamer just getting into gaming, playing the first one was like a very like cool experience.
Mhm.
It was like just the whole aesthetic of like the vampire, the goth thing.
Yeah.
It was like very well done, and the story of like he was, I believe a prince, and then he got outcasted and betrayed, and then he became like a vampire.
Yeah.
It was super cool.
Yeah. No, the one that I was excited for was Lunar Remastered. There are two like classic RPGs.
Okay.
Yeah. Like I played it back on the PlayStation.
Yep.
And then they redid it for PSP.
Shit.
Yeah, and I was like, okay. And now they're redoing it again, and I'm like, oh, this will be so dope. like I feel like a lot of RPG fans that played those classic games are excited for this remaster,
Of course.
because they were like, I think a lot of them have been wondering like, what's going on with Lunar, like where's the IP at?
Yeah.
Now we know. Like now we know. So that's where it's at for us.
Yeah.
They announced Fortnite, the Lego Fortnite stuff. They announced.
I can't wait, dude. I'm so excited.
And then I think they also announced the Horizon Lego game.
Yeah.
Again in that state of play.
Like showing more about it.
Yeah. Horizon Zero Dawn remastered on top of
I
that.
have an issue with that.
because they're charging another $10 to upgrade, which means they're going to resell that game at a $40-$45 price point, realistically, just to like it's dumb.
This is something they've been doing since the beginning of the PlayStation 5, and I was hoping it wouldn't carry on, but it's become a mainline. But I guess it kind of makes sense as like some people are maybe just getting into gaming right now, right? Like when you think of Horizon Zero Dawn, when did it come out? It was like what, 10-ish years ago?
Yeah.
It's been a long time. A lot of people maybe are now who are kids are getting into their teens and they want to play the game, but they don't know what it is.
Right.
So the remasters do kind of make sense, but at the same time, it's like, how many times are we going to get Last of Us remastered? Like this, we're on like what, the 5th? They did the Last of Us remaster, the Last of Us remake, the Last of Us remaster, and the Last of Us remaster of the remake of the remaster.
Didn't they remake it and remaster the PS3 and then 4 and then 5?
Well, they came on the PS3,
Yeah.
they remastered for the PS4,
Yes.
and then they remastered for the PS5. I mean,
Didn't they remake it though?
I mean, I think what they did.
I swear they remade it at the end of the
Maybe.
life cycle for the PS4.
So
Possible.
they remade the remaster.
I think what they're looking at though is they looked at Skyrim and then they looked at GTA and then they saw them redo it again for the PS4 and the Xbox.
Not to mention also Resident Evil 4 has been on every fucking system to date.
Yeah, you know,
Right.
but and they're seeing this the people are willing to buy it and play it again
Nostalgia kick.
just to see it play better on a better system is essentially what's happening here. So.
Yeah, I mean, I don't fault them for it, but at the same time, it's like it doesn't make any sense. Like so many people can just go and buy the PS4 versions of these games and play them for like $10. Just if you have a physical version, a physical disc version, go buy the physical game for $10 on the PS4. Pop it into your PS5. It still plays, and it's perfectly fine. You don't need the ultra realistic graphics for Last of Us.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do.
What else did
Don't
they
you ever
announce?
say that again.
They showed more Dynasty Warriors Origins, which is set in the Three Kingdoms era of China. They showed off a new RPG from Hironobu Sakaguchi, who is like the creator of the Final Fantasy series, the Fantasian Neo Dimension, which I think is like an Atlas game, if I'm not mistaken, or is it a Square Enix game? I can't remember. I'll look it up.
You mean Metaphor? Fantasy Zero?
Oh, okay. So that's the Atlas game. So Fantasian is a Square Enix title then, eh?
Yeah.
Okay, that makes right. Okay, I got that mixed up then. That's my bad.
No worries.
They announced that. I personally think it looks good because it feels like old school, like Super Nintendo early Final Fantasy style gameplay.
Okay.
It's just their sprites. Maybe they just didn't want to do a realistic style video game.
Do you think sprites make or break the game?
Not necessarily.
But is it a big factor?
I'd say it does play a factor.
Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
I'd say it would play a factor.
Yeah.
What else did we get? Fear of the Spotlight, some new platformer, third person thing that Sony is doing. Dragon Age Veilguard, they showed off the gameplay for that.
You have some issues.
Yeah, it's just the character designs. It looks weird. It looks too smooth compared to their last iterations. Especially like the one race called the Kunaris. They were known for having this forehead that was very like clumped together, and they always looked angry all the time.
So Cooper.
Yes. But now it's like there's like no detail in their face whatsoever. Like they just smoothed everything out to make them
I
look.
saw the gameplay and it looked weird. Like not to hurt anyone's feelings, but they look weird.
They do look weird. Yeah, and like even the dragon that they showed off, like I get it, it's supposed to be blighted, but it also looked weird. I'm like, this looks like a monster from an anime or a game that I've played before, but in more of a cartoonish style. When I look at the previous Dragon Age iterations, like their dragons were more detailed and more fierce looking.
Okay.
Yeah, and same with their characters. So for me, the character design is just, it's odd. It's odd that they went that route where it looks a little bit more like cartoony than anything else. And they stepped away from that realism kind of thing.
The roughness.
Yeah. They showed off more Monster Hunter wild stuff.
You got a trailer?
Yeah.
Or sorry, a date, pardon me.
A date too. Game is up for pre-order right now.
Yes, sir.
I don't know if they've announced a collector's edition yet or not. I think they have.
I've seen the steelbook though.
Yeah.
You getting it?
Oh yeah, if it once it becomes available, yeah. Apparently, Japan has an ultimate collector's edition.
You're a big
that comes with the
Monster Hunter.
bike.
Wait, what?
Yeah, in Japan, the ultimate collector's edition comes with a bike
Like that like you can physically
that you can physically ride. Yeah.
What?
I don't know if it's like a motorbike or if it's just a regular pedal, but that's what I've been.
Well,
seeing.
wasn't there that big one for like DMC where they actually gave like full blown outfits, like
Resident Evil.
Resident Evil. That's
It was like a bulletproof vest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
God.
No, they gave like there's.
How do you have the
I think
rights to that?
No, DMC had one. It was like a very exclusive one. I think it was like $10,000, and you got a full like leather suit.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Because I remember my buddy was showing me it, and I was like, "Why would anyone buy this?"
That is interesting.
So
That is interesting. Yeah, but
Some
I
interesting
really when they announce the I really want the statue.
What is the statue?
It'll be of the flagship monster.
Oh, the white. Is it the white wraith? Is that the?
That's what they call it in game. Yeah, it was supposed to be like an extinct species.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it sounds like this one we're gonna come across all of like species that they
Older.
thought were
Dead.
gone and dead, and they're gonna be coming back in this one, which is kind of cool. Yeah. Like there's always something with Monster Hunter. Like I love that series for a reason, and it's like really. Sorry, are we boring you?
no. I was looking up the collector's edition to show you guys the collector's edition. Sorry, and I don't really care about either of these because they're not my thing.
And then the final big one that was announced for the state of play was Ghosts of Yotai.
Yote.
Ghost of Tsushima 2.
The sequel.
No,
It's Ghost of Tsushima 2.
it goes to assume it.
Yeah.
It's Ghost of Tsushima.
Set in the same universe as Ghost of Tsushima, but it's 300 years later.
I heard
It's-
4, but
Yeah, 300 or 400.
It's
where
1605. Is
the
date that it-
1600s.
1603. I could be very
It's
wrong.
it's set in the 1600s.
Yeah,
It's set in the
1600s.
1600s, whereas like Ghost of Tsushima is set in the 1300s, right? So, what it just seems like is the mountain of yotai is where people kind of go to kind of not be found.
Get lost.
Yeah, like if
'Cause
they're
that's what it says in the trailer. Like people come here to like get lost.
yeah, which is like okay, cool.
There's some cool wolf themes going on.
Yeah,
in this game.
lone wolf kind of stuff.
Yeah, there's a wolf
But
hill.
in this game, so in the first game, you were basically moving up the ranks and you were making a name for yourself as Jin and as the ghost. In this game, it looks like you already have a name for yourself, and it almost looks like you have a hit list. Because in that one scene, she's holding a scroll and then she like crosses out a name in blood. So like it looks like she has a hit list, and she's like, maybe she got done wrong, dirty, or like,
Or she's a bounty hunter.
yeah, or something, because she already has like the ghost mask and the hat and like the whole attire. So like she's clearly out here hunting people.
And she can dual wield, which is kind of dope.
And she has a
Dual-wield.
fucking chain and sickle
Oh yeah,
and a
yeah,
goddamn
right.
rifle.
Yeah, there's so much new additions to this game. I'm very excited. But the one drawback is the main character's a woman. I don't know how I can play as a woman in a video game. How
In 2024.
can I, as a man, I'm a man. How can I play as a woman? It's just an impossibility. Like I don't know how they expect me as a man to do that. Like that's honestly very degrading. This is actually
We expected
anti-men.
this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is anti-men,
We
and
expected this.
every game that comes out with a female lead, I am always going to do this. It's gonna be every game so far that's come out with a female lead, I've done this, and I'm not stopping because it's so ridiculous when people get upset about this stupid fact.
Fun fact, I don't know if you guys know this, but the actress or the VR, the mocap, the person who does her, also did Anna Bray in Destiny 2.
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
Yes, I didn't know that.
Oh,
And
I
she
did know
also
that.
voices Valkyrie in Apex.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
That I didn't know.
interesting.
I didn't know about the mocap.
it's the same girl who voices, who is Anna in Destiny 2.
Yeah.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
Yeah, but I think on top of what Cooper just said, I think it's because too of like her views in the world and like how her like half of her head is shaved and XYZ. There's so many things that people are like, this character sucks because of real life things that I'm like, well, it's a game.
It's a game.
Secondly,
Also, during that time period, there were like female samurai, but a lot of them were stationed to stay in the village to protect
This gives me blue eye samurai
White Dragon
5. Nice.
I'm not gonna act like I know anything of this era of Japan, so I know nothing about
I have no
this,
idea.
and nor do I care because it's a video game and historical accuracy doesn't need to be there because it's a fantastical world.
It's not accurate because
Well, to be fair, in Ghost of Tsushima, like because of what they did, it was praised by all of Japan. Like they got and they loved that.
For sure.
No, hold on.
Go ahead.
To say that you don't care, like, okay, sure, as a gamer, you shouldn't care. But with the way the games are trending nowadays, where they want accuracies and to be realistic, things like that, and for a country that, they don't, a lot of the games they make, even with like Dynasty Warriors, things like that, and it gets shipped out, they don't get really that well received. So for them being Ghost of Tsushima getting like worldwide recognition of having like really good depictions of Japan made a big deal. It was a big deal. It was a big deal.
No, sure, and I'm not saying that as a disservice. I'm saying that it does, like, for me, for any gamer, you really shouldn't care about the historical accuracies. It's a video game. Like, it's the same thing with Assassin's Creed Shadows. Like, I don't care about the realism. It's a game. Like, let me play the game.
Yourself.
I get it.
Yeah, exactly. Well, yeah.
I understand that like the way that Ghost of Tsushima did it was really well done because they paid praise to Japan.
Well, they didn't pay praise. They respected their culture.
Exactly. They
and even when the people were complaining that the voice actors were all white and that they were like, "Oh, you should have had Japanese."
Actually?
This was a thing. Look it up. Go back and look. People were complaining, like, "Oh, this is bad because you could have casted Japanese voice actors." Well, they turned around. I was like, "Oh, guess what? All of them were Japanese voice actors that did the English side of things."
Oh, get fucked.
Yeah, yeah, straight up. And they had to shut their mouths because they couldn't say shit.
The thing is, like, I wouldn't have even really cared all that much.
No, of course.
It's perfectly fine. But I do like the fact that they used all Japanese people, right?
I feel like it just added more when that happened. Because I was like you were like, what does it matter if they were white or not? But then for them just to be like, eat your own ass, like they were like, of Asian descent that were voicing these characters, like, shut up.
That's great.
Like,
I'm all for
okay.
I'm all for that in video games, but it doesn't, like, you don't need to pay complete historical accuracy.
No, but you also shouldn't
games,
put
right?
like, sure, but there shouldn't be things that don't fit that era.
Sure.
If you're making it a timepiece,
a historical timepiece,
a historical timepiece for a video game, you shouldn't be putting things that really don't belong in that time frame. Then, unless it's meant to be a fantastical like setting, kind of like the Ronin game.
Okay.
Kind of like the Ronin game. Although in that time period that they did, like, guns were about, so maybe that was kind of accurate. Maybe that's not a good example.
It really doesn't.
Hold on. Maybe that wasn't a good example.
For me, it really doesn't do much of a difference if the game is good. Like, regardless of what the characters are or who what's in the game. Just, I mean, you make good games.
Well, true, but when you put a timestamp on as to when a game is happening, though, then you should probably stick to what was going on. Like in Jin's era, like muskets weren't a thing. Like guns weren't a thing. And if all of a sudden like there was a gun that showed up, you'd be like, I thought this was set in the 1300s. Like what is happening?
Sure, but even if there was guns on there, it wouldn't have really taken away from the game, I don't think.
No, but it would kind of sit there and be like, oh, okay. But you'd be like, okay, that doesn't make sense, but it is what it is, and you keep moving forward.
Yeah, because the game would still be great if there was for whatever's in the game. So I personally don't really care all that much. But to get back to Ghost of Yotei, it does look really good. I was kind of disappointed in the animation, just a little bit. Yeah,
I thought it looked about the same, if not better.
I thought it looked the same. I didn't see any big upgrade to what Ghost of Tsushima did.
not too much. I think for the character design, they kind of kept it the same. In terms of like the environment, it looked better, in my opinion.
Slightly?
Yeah, not significantly, not significantly, but yeah, like slightly it looked better. But I think that pushes forward the fact that they're using the same game engine. So it didn't take them out. What I'm expecting out of this now is, because they're using the same game engine, or at least I'm assuming they're using the same engine to make this game, is this is why we got a new Ghost game so soon, right? Like, because they already had something established in that game engine. And 2, this game should come out with almost next to no bugs. It should be that polished.
To be fair, it isn't even that. It's not like they didn't take a lot. They did take quite a. It's been almost 5 years. Well, it's been
Right.
4 years now, and
So
once
they
the
were
game releases,
probably
we're
working-
looking at 5.
Well, they gave a release date of 2025, which means they've probably been working on the sequel after the release.
Oh, before even I would say they were already in the writers' room before Ghost
Yeah.
of Tsushima even released. Like,
Yeah.
right before it released, they were probably already working on this because they already knew.
Yeah, and that's what I mean. Like 5 years for development seems to be about the right amount of time.
For sure. And I was
For a game to come
the
out.
only thing
Yes.
with no bugs.
because we're coming up on now the PS5 Pro, right? This is supposed to be a more advanced console. It's supposed to be doing more for ray tracing, all this stuff. And that's supposed to be what Ghost of Yotei is catered towards, because that's what they prefaced the Ghost of Yotei in State of Play with, was
Right.
the PS5 Pro, right? And then they were like, look what you can play on it. Ghost of Yotei is coming out, and it didn't look as good as I hoped. I wanted it to look way better, because now we're looking 5 years. We have a new console.
Well, you played it on PS4 and PS5, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so that you're coming
You
from
put it on PS4?
I have it for PS4.
I thought you just got it for. Actually, you know, what? sorry. I thought it just came out for the PS5.
No, it came out for PS4. It was right before the PS5 release.
and then they remastered it 2 years later.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah,
They
or they
remastered
not
it.
remastered, but they gave it the PS5 enhancement 2 years later.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
and they had the DLC.
That's what I mean.
and stuff
And
like
then
that.
he played it again on
And
the
then I
PS5.
played it again,
Okay,
and
yeah.
that's when so I've played it both times. And
Mm.
for Ghost of Tsushima, like, yeah, on the PS4, on the PS5, it did have upgrades. Like, it looked better.
Yeah.
It 100% did, and I was very happy with the look of it. I was hoping for that same significant bump in this, because it's actually a new title. It's not even the same title. It's a brand new game, right? So I was looking for a little bit more from the graphical side. Obviously, we haven't seen much. This is the first trailer. I could be completely wrong, and it could look even better on release, right?
Yeah. Right.
We don't know, but just from what I saw, I wasn't necessarily the happiest with what it looked like. I hope it looks better on release.
I hope there's like, and this is just me just thinking, I hope there's like a quest in the game to find like Jin's armor.
But it's taken in a completely different
Hear me
like side of
True.
Japan.
Wait, hold
but
on.
like-
There's Horizon Zero Dawn armor in Ghost of Tsushima.
Yeah, but that we
So-
know that's more DLC stuff. It's not
No, it
necessarily.
wasn't DLC. That was in the game. They released that in game.
Oh, did they? Like
Yeah.
it was. Oh,
Yeah, that's
Well,
in game.
Maybe not like Jin's armor, but like inspired by quote the first Ghost of Tsushima.
Or wait, hold on. Sorry, you are right. There was Sly Cooper armor in the main game, and then
Shut the hell up.
DLC had
Was there really?
yeah. There's a Sly
well,
Cooper.
okay. So
know that.
no,
Yeah, 'cause
what
it's-
I'm okay. Maybe I said the wrong thing. What I mean is like this is a Sucker Punch franchise, so I'm gonna expect Sucker Punch game Easter eggs to be in there. So
Yeah.
like getting that armor makes sense. But I think in terms of what you're saying, having them to go find Jin's armor, it's well, Jin would have to have traveled over to that part of Japan
Yeah.
in
so-
order.
He could have though.
Oh,
We don't
right.
know.
Well,
right?
fair. Like fair. He could have, but
Mhm.
it's a completely different part of Japan.
Yeah. So I guess maybe like armor inspired.
What? Okay, fair. What I'd probably like to hear from that is more of like the tales and legend of Jin.
Yeah.
Is
yeah.
more. I'd rather hear more talk
I
about
think they're-
that
Yeah.
than like getting something that was
Like,
inspired by Jin.
I think they will add that in.
The 8-foot demon of like Tsushima or something who like saved the island, right? Like
Right.
hinting at Jin, but
Yeah.
like that
Yeah.
would be cool to walk into
You know
like a
what's-
per and like hear people talking about that.
I gotta say this. You know, it's so funny. I was talking about this with a coworker, just yesterday or the day before, and they're like, "Yeah, the Ghost of Tsushima DLC." I'm like, "Wait, Ghost of Tsushima had a DLC?" And I'm like,
Iki Island.
"Wait, what DLC?" And I couldn't remember what DLC until we're talking about it in this conversation. And now I'm remembering the DLC, and now I'm like,
Was there a
"Oh,
God of War
right."
Reference in
Yep,
Ghost
there was a God of
Tsushima?
War. There was a Horizon Zero Dawn.
What
and
was
there
the God of War one?
It was the armor. I think you had to go to. There was these statues that you had to like.
It was the statues.
Yeah, it was the
That's what it was, yeah,
statues
yeah.
that you had to light up in certain areas
Yeah.
and do certain like it was like a puzzle thing. And then you got the armor for those for those
Yeah,
franchises. The Sly
yeah.
Cooper one was in the base game though. That's the one that I remember. I think it was like there was something to do with Sly Cooper.
That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. But yeah, a lot of like Ghost. In Ghost, there was a lot of like references to older games. So I think now that talking about it, I agree with you. I would like to hear more of
I think we're gonna get
like
that.
Jin's legacy than find something. I agree.
Given the fact that even in Ghost of Tsushima, there's just so many small little Easter eggs.
Mhm.
I really think that they're gonna. Sucker Punch is known for adding tons of Easter eggs into their games. Sucker Punch is great studio. They wouldn't hold back on us, so I think we are gonna get more of Jin's story. At least a small, maybe side quest thing where it's gonna explain more. Maybe another story of Jin. Right. Post. Like, it's going to explain how he defended against the Mongols, and then just right after
How he was
what
outcasted.
how he's outcasted, how
XYZ.
all happened,
Yeah.
and they're probably going to put a ribbon on that story because now that we're in the future, they're not going to go back and make Ghost of Tsushima.
Right,
2.
because Tsushima was like a dual ending. Like,
Yeah.
depending on what path you took, the ending was a little different.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
So,
Like the ending could be completely
I wonder
different.
if it'll be based off your gameplay. That's what's going to carry
That'd
over
be pretty
into this
cool.
game.
That would be
Yeah.
really cool,
Yeah.
That'd be
but
very
Sucker Punch has
interesting.
never done that before.
No, they haven't, which is why
is-
it would be cool for them to be like, this is the first time for us, and we're going to be doing this. So
Because you had
you'll
those,
hear how your story ended with.
because Sucker Punch made their name on this good evil ending, right?
Yeah.
Like the two ending, like infamous,
Starting with
very
Infamous.
famous,
Yeah.
right? Like you have the good and the evil, but every time you went to the next game, that didn't carry over. I do wish that it did carry over. That would be a very cool
So
thing.
then you can kind of see the fallout of like your choice.
yeah,
Yeah.
because
Because then it would make
Kind
you
of like
go back-
BioWare games.
Yeah, because then it would
Yeah.
make you go back to the first game, replay it, have a second save, and then see the different fallouts of both sides.
yeah.
That'd be cool.
But that would be a big undertaking because they'd have to craft almost two separate stories, right? Like for that.
In a sense.
So yeah, we'll see what
Pretty
happens.
light. Yeah. What are we sitting at for time? I think we've
I
gone.
think
on
we're
for
going to we're close to an hour.
Hour 18.
hour 18. Okay.
That's not
Yeah.
bad.
I mean, I was gonna say Last of Us season 2.
True. Yeah.
Trailer dropped.
Yeah. Last
Quick
season
thoughts,
2.
quick thoughts.
I need to play the game. I really do.
That's fair.
I mean, I'm excited.
I'm excited, though.
I'm the only one here who played the game and beat the game.
I stopped playing.
You stopped for a good reason.
Yeah. But I won't give spoilers because for people that are
You
just
couldn't-
watching, never
You
played.
couldn't handle what happened.
Ugh.
Yeah. I gotta go.
Yeah.
I gotta go and play that.
There's tons of beats into that. Like the first game was a cliche, save the world, save the girl, XYZ. It's a very heartfelt story. And I know when The Last of Us season 2, or pardon me, when The Last of Us 2 came out, a lot of people didn't like the game because of the beats of the story.
Mhm.
But when you take a step back, and I've had this conversation numerous times and listened to the podcast about it, you take a step back and just look at the game from a different POV. It's a very beautiful story. It's a very good story
It's of hurt, loss, and
Yeah.
how your
I'm trying
past
to like
how your past can creep up on you.
and how revenge is never the way,
Yeah.
essentially. And that's as much as I'll give because it's a great game.
Or is revenge the way?
You find out, you play the game, you let me know. It's a great game. I highly recommend anyone who loves the first game to go play the second one. I'm excited for Cooper for you to
Yep.
play it.
I gotta message my boy,
And
be
I'm
like,
excited to
"You
kind of
got
see
The Last of Us?"
how brutal season 2 can be because
Yeah.
again, the second game had some things that I myself like. There was numerous points in the game where I paused it and put the controller down, and I felt uncomfortable because of the actions that just happened. Like,
I'm looking forward to
there
it.
was tons of it.
I'm looking
So-
forward to this season. I can't wait for it to see what actually happens because this is a story that I did really like. But I just didn't get the time to actually go back and continue it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to actually completing the second game and seeing season 2.
Mhm.
But yeah, I think that's a good place to wrap up.
Stop there.
Yeah,
Pod.
thank you guys for watching. If you made it this far, we love you. Please like, subscribe, comment.
Let us
down
know your
below.
thoughts on the new Ghost game, and if you like it, if you
anything that
don't.
we talked about.
Yeah.
Wistoria, Elusive, State of Play,
Yeah.
Ghost of Yote,
Mhm.
Last of Us. tell us your thoughts about these things. What interests you the most? And
now that
what are
we're in
you
like
looking
the
forward
latter
to?
half of the year, I can definitely see a lot of like new games coming out, new animes starting. So I can definitely see that the next couple of pods are just full of
Oh,
information.
we're gonna be packed. These are gonna be some longer episodes for sure. We gotta be ready for this because we're getting a lot of anime starting in like a week.
Yep.
Yeah.
Just so you guys are aware, we'll be going over Dandadan, freaking Dandadan, Bleach Part 3,
Blihache.
and Dragon Ball Daima with a fresh take from somebody that's not even a Dragon Ball fan.
And me and Sheldon might
You
do
see
some
the
Blue Lock stuff.
The voice actress of Kid Goku is coming back.
Yeah, Kid Goku and Kid Gohan.
Yeah, so that's cool.
All right. Let's wrap this guy up. Thank you guys for watching again.
Thank you.
Please like, subscribe down below. We'll see you in the next one. We love you.
Peace.